Hi folks, welcome to Carl's Vaping Reviews once again. Welcome to the video. Very happy New Year to everyone. I thought with being New Year's Day, I'll get this review out. I've had this device for a couple of days now, and the device I'm going to review today is the Kayfun V4 clone. This is the Moander clone, purchased over here in the UK. We'll go down for close-ups and I'll show you all the bits and pieces. What I'll do is I've already got it coiled at, I've got it coiled at 1.2 ohms, micro coil in there. So what I'll do is I'll show you the wicking through the coil, etc., and give you my thoughts on it, possibly over and above the Kayfun Lite, etc. Because I have owned Kayfun Lite clones and also Kayfun Lite Plus original as well, but this is on Svomest have gone rather on the expensive side compared to what the Kayfun Lite was for this. It is a heavily engineered mod, in my opinion. People have said, it's said to enable the top filling, etc., but it is heavily engineered, and for a clone as well, it looks pretty much, it looks stunning. This is my this is at 16 watts, sorry, putting out 4.3 volts on this 1.2 ohm coil. The flavour's nice, very nice indeed. Kayfun's not cloud chasers, This is a Aspire Nautilus, it's not. You're not going to get clouds of vapour like that from this, and I mean, you can buy the S kit where you can open the air holes up inside the deck to enable it to run similar to something like the Aspire Atlantis, but Kayfun's not meant, in my opinion, the Kayfuns are not meant for clouds and stuff. They're meant for flavour and obviously to hold your juice, and it's just a really nice device. So what we'll do is I'll break it down. We'll go down to the table, have a look at it close up. I'll stick a cotton pad wick in there and show you all the bits and pieces. So I'll see you down at the table, guys. Right folks, here we are close up with the Kayfun V4 clone from Moander. This is how it comes. They obviously cloned the box as well, down to the security seal as well, which is not, not brilliant, but it's just how it is at the moment. Flappy box opens up and you have the parts list, which is similar obviously to what you get with the original Kayfun. Not really needed really to go that far. And then this is what you get, spares pack. In the spares pack you've got some, this is the red O-rings version. There is some versions with black O-rings, so I don't know which ones are the better O-rings. It's got some silica, some wire, some flathead screwdriver, spare copper spring, couple of spare screws, and that's what you get in that. And then here you've got your glass tank, glass ring, polycarbonate tank section, and then the Kayfun itself. So what we'll do is we'll just get these bits and pieces, this bit out. We'll leave them two in there because what I'll show you with the what I'll do is I'll just show you the glass ring. It feels, there's been reports that this is this Moander clone features a poly ring being this bit, but it's not. It's definitely glass. It's definitely glass because I've checked it. It's tapping it. It does feel like I just tap it on my teeth because I can feel if it's glass then. And then you'll put that to one side. Poly section, polycarbonate and glass sections. So in there, it does feel a little tiny bit thin. This glass does. So you have to be careful with it. I know it's got a couple of tiniest little chips on the edge on the bottom here, but that's not bad at all what you get in the package. So let's just zoom in a little bit on the Kayfun. So this is the Kayfun. It's got all the markings on. There's the show you better. There you go. That's the V4 Moander moniker, the new one. That's engraved into there. And then we've got this is more of a laser etching here for the V4 Moander on the tank. And then it's engraved. The pattern design's engraved in there. Nice quality stainless steel. Nice finish to it. Nice brush finish. So we'll start at the top. Just put the focus back in again. Drip tip with your design on it, with the design on it, the swirl design. I'll put the parts down here. We'll start from the top. This is the drip tip adapter that screws onto the top. That rubber O-ring inside there, the red O-ring inside, fits on top of that chimney, around the top of that chimney to give it a seal. And then this seals the tank, this ring here, around the top of the threads. So that's the drip tip adapter at the top. And then what I do with this is I take it off from the bottom, and to get the tank off, the juice flow on it needs to be closed. Sorry, open. I keep getting the juice flow on this mixed up. It'll take a while to get used to. So what we've got here is the top section of the tank. This is how I take this tank section off like this. This is how this is why you can take the deck out of the tank and work on it whilst your juice is still in here. But this obviously strips down to more pieces. You got the top. Take the top section off first. You have to hold it all together because it does come. So you take that off first, which is your ring. It's got the top ring, which has got an O-ring on it as well. And then you've got a little, that's your top of the section. You've got a little knurled nut here, which you need to take off. Threading is quite nice on this throughout, to be honest. It's really nice. There's your top ring, or your knurled nut, which is there. And then the tank will all fall apart, while the top two sections will come off. So that's your top of the tank section. That's your ring, which you can replace for that one. So that's that there. And you know, some more excellent machining there as well. The threads are really nice on it. No crunchiness on the threads at all. And then the bottom part of the section screws off. And you've got an O-ring inside there. That's your top, that's your bottom, and that's your top. Both got internal O-rings. And then obviously that goes together with whichever centre section you're going to use. So we'll put them in shot there. And then that is what you're left with. That is now your chimney for the Kayfun. Each one of these holes here, these slashes, are juice flow holes, which are through there. As you can see, straight through them. And you can see how well it's milled inside. You know, it's really done a really good job of this. Really good job. This is the Moander manufactured one, so you know whether they're much different or not, I don't know. I think EH Pro brought theirs out now. So we'll just plop these, and then what you do is, now I've broke it down, is what I do is I build the tank up with whichever. Let's say we're going to use the glass section now for a change. So we're going to put that on. That's the bottom part. and then we're going to put the top part on like that. So you're left with that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put the chimney section in that way up. I'll show you again, that way up. So this is your top of your tank, and that's the bottom of your tank, and then I'm going to screw this bottom section on, the chimney section, into the bottom section of the tank like that. And then obviously this is still all loose at the moment, so make sure you've got it all nicely seated, the glass ring and on them sitting on these O-rings inside the tank. And then what you need to do is you need to get this little nailed nut whilst holding it together and screw it onto the top of the chimney like so. And just make sure everything's right before you screw it down. And then it does screw on a fair way. Then just finger tight is good enough. And then that's your tank section. And that's where you would, and then your top bit goes on, which you can put that on as well. Screws on like so. And then I'll just give it another couple of turns, tweaks, by just holding the top and bottom section, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Then that's ready to put onto your deck section here, which I'm going to show you now. So we'll just move these little other bits out of the way for a second. Now you've got a collar for your chimney, which you can for your deck, where your coil is, which you take off when you're coiling it. And then I've got it's really close to the just get some focus in on this. It's really close to the it's actually dropped a little bit, that has actually, so I'm just going to get my little teeny screwdriver out of my £1.99 box. I'm just going to lift that coil up again slightly. I think I've dropped it onto the deck. Sorry if I've gone off shot a second. Right. Sorry if I'm getting off shot, I'm just getting it right so I can show you. That's way off, that is. I'm doing call. That's a bit better. Now, that is 1.20, and what I've done is I've wrapped it around wrapped the legs around both the screws and trapped them between both the screws. I mean, you could discard two of these screws if you're just single coiling it. Now, what you need to make note of is when you trim off your wires, you need to leave no wires at the back here. So what I do is I bring it round the back of these coils and trim it off here, because with this chimney on, there is virtually no space either side of there, so you could leave a leg. I mean, look how much space there is this side here. You could leave a leg touching this chimney, which will short the atomizer out. You could leave one of the legs tiny bit showing, so you need to trim it off, bring it round right round the screw and trim it off down this side somewhere, down towards the middle of the screw, rather than at the back here, because there's no gap in the chimney there. So what you're left with now is this is the device in open position. So it's screwed all the way down, leaving the juice channels. You can just make the juice channels out there. There's 1, 2 on that side, 3, 4, and then they come up through these holes your juice does. So you need your cotton sitting on this deck here, on the top of this deck here, I'll show you. I normally pull my wicks through and then push the cotton back down with a Kayfun build, but I'll show you how I do it now, because you don't want to be sort of, you just want your cotton just resting on them. And then that's obviously open. Then what you want to do is you turn this base here, and what will happen is, I'll show you in a second, is you see it rising from here. There's a gap there now. That gap will get bigger and bigger as you close it off. What you're doing is you're closing the juice off now, but them juice channels will stay the same width here. It's just rising from the deck's rising from here, and what happens is it shuts off them holes there. So as that's on, this part here, it's hard to keep in shot, this part here shuts it off here. They meet together and shuts off these 6 holes. That stops your juice. That's the position you need it in. You need that in that position when you're filling, and then once it's filled up and you've tipped it up, or once you've filled it up, you can open your juice flow up and Bob's your uncle, or Fanny's your aunt, or whatever you want to call it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just screw this juice flow all the way out, because it's something I need to show you inside the deck. It just take a bit of screwing, for want of a better word. So what you've got in here now, you've got 2 parts now. So you've got 4 airflow channels. This is square, by the way, as you can tell. Square, rounded square here. And if you can just make out on the nut here, on this is your airflow screw, or adjustable airflow screw. Can you just see some on each hexagon of this nut here? There is airflow holes. That's what delivers your airflow up, through and under your coil here. Now, if I screwed that air hole screw in, I will be blocking them airflow holes off. So I've been sort of having this airflow screw here just sort of near to the top. That's quite an open drawer there, that is, with that. I mean, you can, if you want even air, just take it right out if you wanted to. So that's that part. And then in here, it's a little bit different setup in here. This clone's got a copper 510, and it is adjustable slightly. But I had a problem with the copper 510 goes through onto this ring here, this nut here, but it's a rounded nut. You know, it's not a hexagon shaped nut, it's a round nut, and all that nut moves when you're trying to unscrew this, but it moves for a reason. Let me just see if we can get there. Just need to unscrew it. What will happen is I've unscrewed it now, and then that drops out, but you've also, that's sitting in a little insulator. Now, I had a problem with a loose base I did. Now all you need to do is just push this pin out. That's your copper 510 pin. When you get it, if you get a Moander clone, you need to tap it you need to get this insulator out. There you go. Alright, you just need to tap it. It's not glued in or anything. It's an insulator that this nut sits into, which is your 510 threaded nut sits into. and underneath there is a flathead. It's a screw that keeps this juice flow together, this turning ring here together, and that was very loose when I had it. It was it made it, I mean, that's a bit loose now, and it gets, you get loads of play in it. And I was wondering why there was loads of play in it even when it was screwed up. It was because this, when it came, this nut was really loose inside there, so you need to just, if you do get any play in this bottom section when your tank's all screwed up nicely, is check this here, which is the, I've just undone it slightly again, so that's that there. When you do take this out, I'm not going to take it out on camera because it can be a pain to put back in. All this falls out, all this comes out as one piece, and that's what enables you to change your connections to a P3 connector or whatever. So that's that. So what you do is I'll put this insulator and nut back in. I'm sorry if I go off camera slightly when I'm doing this. It can get quite fiddly. Then I'll put my 510 pin back in. I'll just start it off. That's it. So that's in now. That's right now. So that's in now. Obviously that makes contact with the bottom of the deck and gives you your positive connection. And then what you do is you put it back together, screw it in. Careful you don't cross thread it, and then screw it anti-clockwise, or if you hold the bottom and screw that way, that is opening the juice flow. So when it is in, when the deck, let's get me thing again, when this section here, you can't see any gap here, that's open because the deck's down off these. So that's how it works. I hope I explained that okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just do a little build. I'll show you what this is coming out at. Let's just get my focus back in. There we go. 1.22, and I'm just going to get a bit of cotton, and I'm going to snip a bit off, slither off, and put that to one side. Now I've got a 2.5mm hole here, so, and I like my cotton tight in, so I'm not going to strip any layers of this cotton off. I'm just going to really scrunch the end up, and then I'm going to, let's get some autofocus back in. Shove it through there, and I'm just going to do a twist and pull on it. The coil's not the best I've done here. It's just I did a quick one, and that's what I've got. Now normally I would put them two legs up, put the chimney section, this ring on, cut it off just slightly above the chimney and push them down. Excuse me, but with this I'm going to snip it off about level with the, so your scissors are level with the bottom of the base, sort of like that, like that. So I've got roughly a bit level on both sides. And then that's how much I use roughly on there. So when you're looking at it, it's just slightly, might be a bit too much on this side here, so I'll snip a bit more off and then just pull it through slightly. So I have the cotton sort of levelish with the base of the here. And what you're going to do is you're going to turn these under, but to do that I'm going to just juice it up a bit. I'm going to put a bit of juice on here. This is a 50-50 custard cream. Sorry for that, guys. With this needle bottle, this is what I use to just shove the cotton up. So what I'm going to do is show you. Excuse me. I'm going to just fold the cotton down to the sides of the atomizer, down the sides of the positive negative, and just have it just sitting on them holes. So it's just like that. Sound like Tommy Cooper. It's just like that. I mean, you can play with your cotton a little bit more if you wanted to get a little bit better than that, but I just sort of have a little recess underneath here and just fold that down. I like a little bit of puffiness at the top here, on here, so as it's a little bit puffed out, so it's not dragging right the way down. And the same here. Just put it under. Obviously do it with juice on. And it's just touching the so it's like that. That's how I do it. That's how I make sure that I haven't got too much cotton or too little cotton in there, so as I know how much is sort of sitting on them juice holes. Because obviously you've got no external channels now as such. Your juice coming up directly underneath your cotton, so you want it to come and hit your cotton straight away and then wick straight the way up. And then what you do then is you put your chimney on. Make sure it's only threaded on one side, so you only go on one way, and then thread your chimney on. And if it's moved your cotton a little bit upon threading it, it sometimes does, just slide it back over again like so, and that's it. That's as much cotton as I put in there. And then we take it off the ohms meter. Now obviously this juice flow is open at the moment, so what we do is we put this on first. Well, this is the way I've been doing it anyway, is let's just get there, screw this on, my fingers are a little bit slippy now touching that juice, and then it's all married, it's all gone on now. Well, that's your tank, that's your build now. That's your tank built, apart from you haven't got your drip tip adapter and your drip tip on, but your juice flow still, the juice flow is still in open mode. So what you need to do now is to turn it. So I'm holding this ring and I'm turning that way, so I'm going to close it off. What that's doing is it's bringing that level up to close the juice flow off, so it won't go any more, and that's it. And then you can fill in the top like so. You'll see it going in. I won't fill it right up, save you on time. Just fill it so as it comes past the window. It's about 4.5 mil, I think, in these, and that'll do. I've got enough in there. and I mean you can fill it up to, you know, so you see it come up above them holes there, and you put your drip tip adapter on, or the seal for your drip tip. Come on, catch. Still not on properly. What you've got is it's squared off on that side there, so sometimes it just doesn't catch. That's to allow the air to come through the threads as you screw this on. So screw that onto there, drip tip on, and then what I do now before I open it is I put it on a mod, which is I'm just using the Smock BT50 X Pro, and then as I screw it on, I'm just going to hold it from the nailed ring here, from the hex ring here, and screw it, and you'll probably see some bubbles in a minute. There you go, there are the bubbles. That means it's wicking. And then just screw it till it's wide open. That's it. Now it's open or closed, it's not really in between. And then we'll take a vape. Lovely. So what we'll do now, guys, is we'll go back up to the top and we'll have a talk about it, rate it, and thanks for watching the close-up. Right, folks, here we are back up to the top. So, hope you got what you needed from that close-up. This is it here now with on my X Pro BT50. We'll just have a quick vape. And comparisons with the old one, it's better, flavour wise is better in my opinion than any of the Kayfun. I've had the Kayfun original, I've also had clones, and the flavour from this is better. The included sections for having different aesthetics to the tank are great. You've got a poly tank, which makes it look less barrel like, so it's more flatter all the way up, more of a straight line design. This is the Moander version. EH Pro have brought one. They've got one out now with it's got different toe rings. It's got a stainless steel 510 instead of the copper 510 that this has got, and a glass tank, because this was the Moander Clone was advertised as having a poly ring as well as a poly tank, but it's not a poly ring. It's a glass ring. So if you do pick up the Moander version like I have, it does have the glass tank. And the finish, as you see in the close-ups, I think the finish is fantastic for a clone. I really do. I have had some leaking from the air slots. I'm still, you know, the build is quite on how much cotton you put in there. If you don't put enough in, you're going to get leaking down through the air hole into these channels here. And if you don't shut it off properly, make sure it's shut off all the way before you open this up here at the top, the drip tip adapter to put your juice in, or else it's just like filling a Kayfun, the old version, up. If you leave the juice open, it'll just pressure will build up when you screw this back on slightly. Although it's got them chamfered edges on this part here inside on the threading, it still will force a bit of pressure into there and force the juice out. But vape's fantastic. I mean, I'm running this at 14.5 watts, 1.3 ohm, which come out at the moment, 4.1 volts. You know, and you know, it's not a lot like I've said before. It's not cloud chasing atomizer. The Kayfun is, and it's not designed in that way. It's designed for flavour. But as you can see, plenty of vapour from it. Flavour is good. Flavour is good. Right, I paid about. I think I paid £25 for this. I think they vary between 25 and 32 from what I've seen across the vendors in the UK. So positives. Positives are it can be filled from the top by just unscrewing the drip tip adapter. Airflow control is great on it. The interchangeable tank sections that are included in the kit are great. The finish on it, the quality of it for a clone is fantastic. One of the best I've seen, to be honest. I mean, so some of the Kayfun clones, the old version Kayfun clones, where eventually the finish got better and better. What else is there? Part of the positive sides. Obviously, it's all stainless steel. Negatives. What negatives is there? The 510 pin adjustment can be a bit on this clone anyway. I think the 510's a tad short in my opinion, and it only makes contact once. Once I screw the juice control to open. Although it can be adjusted, it can only be adjusted slightly on this version, just because of the setup in there that I showed you with that round nut that's inside there. And that's it for negatives, really. I mean, for the money, it's a great atomizer for anyone to get. It's an easy build. You can put any combination of builds in there with having them 4 screws. So it's a great buy, and I'll take one more vape and then we'll wrap it up. Lovely, lovely. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any comments on this, obviously the video is a bit longer than usual because of all the other parts involved in this. But if you have got any comments on it, or if I've missed anything out, please feel free to comment on the YouTube video. I leave comments open on my YouTube channel. I don't get many bad comments, but if I get spam comments or anything like that, they will be deleted straight away. I just want to make that clear. But I'll never disable the comments, because all comments, good and bad, aimed at me as a reviewer or aimed at the device I'm doing, or if there's anything I've missed, help other people who are viewing the video anyway. You can also contact me on the AAEC forum. Richo71 is the avatar, and I've got my Google Plus up links, and Facebook and Twitter links are all on the YouTube channel. Once again, guys, have a happy new year. All the best for the future, and I'll see you again shortly in another video. Thank you.